progress.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. Baruch Haba. We're continuing in Mishna Daf Hashavua. We're in the very last Siman of Hilchos Kriya Shema. Next week we begin Hilchos Tefillah, and Siman Peches talks about a Baal Keri. Can a Baal Keri say Kriya Shema? So the Mechaber began by saying anyone who's Tameh could read the Torah, could read Kriya Shema, could daven, except for a Baal Keri. This is based on the Gemara Brachas Daf Chav Beis, because Ezra extricated him from all the Tmeim and asked the Baal Keri in Divrei Torah for Kriya Shema, for Tefillah, until one is Toivel. Why? There are two reasons. The Mechaber says so Talmidei Chachamim do not frequent their wives like Tarnagoyim. The Mishnah brought a reason is because Keri comes from Kalas Rosh, and Divrei Torah needs Ema Yoreses and Ziyah. And then they were Mavatal Takana, and they established the halacha al pi din, meaning the original din, the ikar din, is that a Baal Keri is mutter in all these things. Ezra made a takana, they were mavatal it. Why? Because the Mechaber doesn't say. The Mishnah explains because it was davar she'ev shel roiv hatzibur la'amod by, and they were mavatal it because of bittul Torah and bittul Puria Verivia. Now it's very interesting that the Mechaber's conclusion is v'chein pashan haminag. The minag is that a Baal Keri is mutter b'divrei Torah, Kriya Shema, Tefillah, without Tefillah, without rechitza of 9 kavim, and that v'chein pashan haminag. Now what's interesting is that there are many Rishonim that they were not mevatel Tevilas Ezra for Tefillah. Who are they? Rav Haigain, Rabbeinu Chananel, Rabbeinu Yoina, the Rosh, the Arzarua, the Sefer HaAgar, the Sefer HaYashar, Toisus and Chulin, Sefer HaManig, the Piskei Harid, Maram Rutenberg, Toisus Yehuda Chassid, the Roikeach, the Eshkol, the Orchos Chaim, Rabbeinu Ephraim. However, that's not really relevant, because the conclusion of the Shulchan Aruch is that they were mavato it, even for Tefillah, and his conclusion is v'chein pashat haminag. But there are Rishonim that they were not. Now, let us see Mishnah Sivkatan Daled. V'chein pashat haminag. Umikamakam yesh anshe ma'isa shenoyagin b'takanazu. There are some anshe ma'isa that are noyig in this takana v'toivlan es atzan l'kerion, and they are toivel for being a Baal Keri. Now, even though normally when one is toivel, one is not roichetz afterwards, the Tzitz Eliezer says it's mutter because this tefillah is not me'ikar hadin. It's interesting, the Be'er Lachav says in Siman Tafresh Vav, in the name of Rabbi Shaya Pik, that those who are toivel before, for their keri, they should make sure to urinate before their toivel. Otherwise, when they urinate, they become tamei again and they don't accomplish anything. So, otherwise there's no point b'chlal. Okay. Now how many times do you have to dunk? You have to do 500 times, 300 times, 3 times. You only have to do it once. Are you allowed to do this on Shabbos? So in Siman Shin Chavav, Sivkan Chavdalad, there's machlekes whether you can. If you want to, ein limchos biyadai. L'mais, if someone was became tamei on Shabbos, the minhag is nespashit lahater, as long as you don't squeeze out your hair. But if you're stam going to the Mikvah because you want to be a holy guy, you're not allowed to. Sorry, that's what the Be'er Halacha says. Stam to go to the Mikvah every day, the Be'er Halacha says you can't do it. You want to be holy? There are better ways to be holy. What can I tell you? Okay, weiter. Now, v'im kasha aleim atfila, those whose minhag is to be toivel, meaning those who are makber on tfilas Ezra, and it's difficult for them, it's very cold or whatever. They bathe themselves in 9 kav. Now, how much is 9 kav? So according to Chazonish, it's 23 liters. B'shas al-chak, 17.5 liters. According to Reb Chaim Noah, 18 liters. B'shas al-chak, 12.5 liters. How now does a shower work? Lamaisa, most poskim say that a shower would be tes kavim. For this, it's not as good as a mikvah, but it would substitute tes kavin. There are many tshuvos that a shower is considered tes kavin. Okay. V'chein tisha kavin. He says, 40 sa of maim shuvim is kosher for this tefillah. So in other words, you could go into a swimming pool to be toivel for tefillas Ezra. V'chein tisha kavin hu gam kein maim shuvim. The 9 kavim could also be maim shuvim. V'afilu mishleisha kelim, even from 3 different kelim. V'ofen shlo yafsik mishvichas kli echad ad sheyaschal sheni. But there can't be any interruption in the pouring of the water. Aval yoyser mishleisha kelim, more than 3 kelim, ein mitzdarfen l'shir tisha kavin, will not add up and join to be considered 9 kavim. V'hanach tisha kavin tzarch sheyishbech alav. If you use the eighths of 9 kav, it has to be poured on you. Avaloi litbo b'seicha, not to be toivel in them. Bein imheim me'kli ay b'karka, whether the 9 kav are in a kli or in the ground. The choshu derech tefillah, if you're doing it in the manner of immersion, but in a davkar b'amsa, you need 40 sa. Uvekarka, and in the ground, kishar tefillahs. However, mikamakim im nichnas chetzioi lemikvah. So in other words, if you're using 9 kav, it has to be poured on you. If you're using, if you want to immerse, you have to have 40 sa. Umikamakim im nichnas chetzioi lemikvah. Let's say you put half of you in a mikvah. V'loi hirkin roisha. You don't bend your head in. Litbal chatzi gufa yasher b'chutz, to immerse the half of your body that's outside of the mikvah. Rak shavcho alav milmala tishakabin mayol atar. That will help. So in other words, you could do half and half. You could do half your. Let's say a person's claustrophobic. He likes the mikvahs, but he can't stick his head in. So then the eitzah is you could put half of you in the mikvah, and then the other half you could squirt him in a water gun. L'chayra, that would also help. If you have a very big water gun, avada, it would work to be metahirim. What?
What does he gain? He's pouring taste of kabin. So what's he gain by being half in the mikvah?
Because he's only doing the top half of his body. His bottom half has a fear of water guns. So the bottom half is being toivel in a mikvah, and the top half is going in a shower. You could do that. It works. In other words, you could be even though we just said they're 2 completely different mechanisms. Mechanism of 9 kav is dafka pouring. Mechanism of Tvila is dafka 40 sa. So you would think, you have to either one or another. You can't, do half and half. It's a chidush that you could do half and half. Okay. Let's say you want to do 9 kav. Let's say by COVID. By COVID, you couldn't go to the mikvah. So, can't go to the mikvah. So what's the big deal? Let's say Erev Yom Kippur. Or also Erev Rosh Hashanah. So you want to do 9. So many people were very makbid. They're very makbid on going to the mikvah and getting other people sick. So it's always important to know what the source of the halacha is. This halacha is for Chasidim Anshe Maisa. Going to mikvah is Chasidim Anshe Maisa. Not getting people sick is Dairaisa. Right? Rabbi Yisrael Salanter once said there was a group of people, they were getting together to learn Shas Be'iyon. So they started from brachas. Rabbi Yisrael said, you know how to start from brachas. Brachas are mostly d'Rabbanan. Hilchas Shabbos, ruba d'Rabbanan. Erevin is d'Rabbanan. Baba Kama, Baba Matzia, Baba Basra, Nazikin, Kulei Dairaisa Nino. You have to start with Dairaisa. So it's a very chashuv thing to go to the mikvah. It's also very chashuv not to injure people. So if you're not feeling well, and you have a runny nose, and you have fever, it's asur to go to the mikvah. You want to be holy. God doesn't want you to be holy. He wants you to do the right thing. The right thing is, don't get other people sick. The first thing is, you have to feel good. If you feel good, you could go to the mikvah and you could dunk 500 times as long as nobody's waiting. If people are waiting, then you can only dunk 1 time. You You have no right to make somebody wait, because you once saw on a Parsha sheet in your shul a random guy who made up how many times you have to go to the mikvah. So you could dunk one time if people are waiting. And if you're feeling good, you say, don't call in sick to the boss because you have a runny nose and go to the mikvah. If you're not well enough to go to work, then you're not well enough to go to the mikvah. Anyway, weiter. When you pour the 9 kav on a person, yeshlai lamoid zakov, you should stand erect, ushtei yadav munachim neged libay, with your 2 hearts opposite your heart. V'lo yidchak oisam b'chibuk harbe, do not push them very tightly. Rak berevach ktsas, slightly loose. Kedei sheyavoyu hamayim gam sham, so that the water should reach there as well. V'yazhir lashoivchem olav, you should warn the people pouring on you, right? So here you have a whole team of pourers. That's why the shower is always is a better option than bringing in different family members to start pouring water on you for the 9 kav. Not necessarily recommended that way, but if you have cousins and uncles that want to come to your house at your beckons call, hey, Uncle Pliny, it's time for the test kavin. Again, if you wanna utilize this, you gotta get the Berura says, Yazir l'shoivchem alav. Who are these? You have to warn the people pouring on you. Sheyishbechu keneged gufay mamish. They should spritz it mamish opposite your body. Not sure what that's coming to say. Mamish opposite your body, as opposed to what? Let's see. Okay, I'm not sure what the azhara is. They shouldn't pour it toward your toes or the top of your head. It should be connected the guf mamish. V'shir tisha kabin. How much is 9 kav? Ayim b'rahitiv shushir tesvav kvart polish. 15 Polish quart. Ayim b'sifr mati Ephraim hanal shekasa de b'kvart shalanu tzarchav dal kvart l'shvichas tisha kabin. Uv'shas hatchak she'en ha'kelim machzikim kolkach. If it's a shas hatchak and the kelim don't hold so much, yesh lahakel b'yurches kvart. Now, anybody have a shiur of how long the shower, if somebody takes a shower, how long should the shower be? Anybody here? I once heard a shiur that Reb David Feinstein gave a shiur of how long the shower should be. L'chayr, it should depend on the shower. If it's a shower in camp, l'chayr, it needs to be 2.5 hours. If it's a shower at home, if you go to a good hotel, in 1 minute it should do the job. So l'chayr, it should depend on the shower.
You can test it. A standard washing cup is a liter. So stand there with see how long it takes to put a standard washing cup. That's a liter. That takes 10 seconds. So if you need 15 liters.
What do you mean, a plastic Natil Sidayim cup?
Yeah.
Okay, you've officially been appointed to. You might want to put on a raincoat and rubbers to measure.
Sure.
But
He gives us the share of Rabbi Yehuda shower. It doesn't tell everybody else. But
yeah, Eretz Yisrael. I don't know.
Welcome to come to my shower whenever you come.
Okay.
I've heard B'Shem Rav Moshe 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes?
But I've also heard from the person that said that it seems like it's a very long time though.
A long time?
3.5 minutes would be a long time, but that's what I heard B'Shem Rav Moshe.
Oh. Okay.
Meaning you should be able to get Tisha Kavit much faster. 3.5 minutes.
Okay. Do you have a way to verify that?
I can try.
Okay. Kasam Magen Avram. The af hanoig tfilas l'kari. Even someone who's noig tefillah for kari. Dafka bari. Dafka someone who's healthy. Someone who's sick, who had relations. Aval choila shara kari la'ansai pater miklum. Someone who's sick and in illness saw a kari is pater. You don't have to go to the mikvah, and you don't need tes kavin. All you got to do is wash that place. Now that's a chidush. Why should that be? Kari is matame. Kari is matame. So you're an oines. You're right. You're an oines for being a kari, but you're still tame. You could go into the Beis Hamikdash. Someone who's raw kari because of a chayla could go into the mikdash. The answer is very pashut, Rabbi say. You're not going to the mikvah for tumah. You're not going to the mikvah for tumah. There are two reasons for the tefillah. There was a takana. The takana was kedei shaloi yiyu talmidei chachamim mitzuyin etzal neshasem ketarna goylam. So b'chlal, that's only nogea if somebody had relations. Here, the person didn't have relations. Elamai, the other reason of the Mishnah Berura that kari comes from kalas roish, not if it's coming from an illness. Someone's not feeling well, so it's an illness. So b'chlal, somebody shouldn't think they're going to the mikvah for tumah. You're not going to the mikvah for tumah. It's either a precaution so that shalayu tamicham etzonish tasem tarna goyim, or it's to create a certain seriousness for dvarim shebekdusha. Neither of those are noigeya for if somebody is ra kari machmas chayli. V'chein bari shara mayim chalukim pater miklam. Also, if someone's healthy and he saw clear water, he's pater. D'loy gazer Ezra alzel inyan divrei Torah tefillah. V'rak le'inyan truma tamei mishamayim chalukim. It's a din on tumah v'tahara, but Ezra was not goizer on this. Okay, Rabbi Sai, we're going to hold it over here. The plan this week is like this. Tomorrow we finish up Peiches. Really, I would want to do Friday, but I want to make a push to get people to join for the new Miktsaya. It's really a new Chelek of Mishnah Berura. Actually, when we started Dirshu 6 years ago, we started in Siman Peites. So we're not going to do Friday this week. We'll start the new Inyan on Monday. Okay? Hatzlacha. Have a good day, everyone. All tov.